Hi, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com here, day 2 of DevOps Enterprise, London 2016. And we're here with one of the first speakers today, Andrew Hawkins of LV.
Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Andrew, you spoke a little bit today about LV's DevOps transformation, or transformative journey, if you will. Why don't you share with our audience some of the highlights of what you spoke about?
Yeah, so one of the key things that I'm seeing through our journey is that the ability of tools to allow people to behave differently or to evolve. At the end of the day, a tool is just a thing. We use them every day. But the fact that people can take these tools and then evolve their practices and behaviors to make a difference to the value they give to a company, how they use it to take things such as constraints or things slowing them down away. So it's key to underpin how we get people to evolve in terms of practice, how we change our thinking about what we deliver and how we achieve.
Absolutely. And Andrew, can you give us an example of some of the tools you folks are using over there?
Okay, so our core tool set revolves around tools such as Jira, Confluence from the Atlassian guys. Mm-hmm. We're a Git user. We're heavily into Jenkins as well. And the Puppet user along the lines as well. Okay. So those are our core sets, and some of those are helping people think differently about how they do stuff. So if I throw in a small story I used on stage, sure. we introduced it to an area that had a huge amount of backlog, problems, challenges, debt. They also had a lot of email exchange and phone calls and audit trail loss in terms of things they were talking about. A simple thing such as the tool got them to behave differently. They started organising their tasks and having their communications in an auditable chain of work. Things stopped getting lost. Email traffic went down. Phone calls were less stressed because everybody was visible about what's going on. They had somewhere to document this. Ultimately, as they took this stuff further, they had tools to build and create this work. But it's that kind of moment. Other sides as well is when, as I said on stage a short while ago, is that I had a great moment when somebody phoned and asked me what I'd done.
Right.
And I said, well, what have you done? I didn't know what they're talking about. And then they said, well, we've just cut 2 weeks off of a test cycle. 6-week test cycle. We've had to cut 2 weeks off. We ran out of bugs. Why? Well, the team had adopted the tools, but they'd taken them so to heart in terms of their behaviours and approaches. They'd done a fantastic job in evolving the technology they were delivering. They were testing so thoroughly and working so well, but by the time it got to the testers, they could shorten the test time. And that's the kind of fantastic moment that says, okay, guys, I've now taken 2 weeks off the time to market. It's the key thing behind the discipline comment I made that said, taking away problems, getting rid of constraints, remembering why we're there is to add value for our members, create value for the customers and the business that we're doing. And the fact, okay, great, we can cut 2 weeks off there. We can reduce deployment times by up to 85% in cases at the moment.
It's phenomenal.
You can do your value chain analysis on that and says, actually, we are making a difference. It might just be a tool, but it's really cut through and changed that piece.
You know what's interesting about this, Andrew? When we speak to a lot of people about DevOps, they say culture. The culture around behavior and so forth is the key, is the real, golden path, golden ticket to this. And what you are talking about here is sort of a little horse before the cart before the horse, in that it's not that the culture makes the tool. In your case, to a certain extent, the tool helped make the culture.
Yeah, and I must emphasize this is still a journey for us. We know we aren't there yet. A lot of this is happening at the technical layers. Mm-hmm. We adopted almost a biological growth piece of this. It wasn't mandated. So nobody stood up and said, you have to do it this way. But what we let is the tools and the capabilities speak for themselves, and people to adapt and use them in the best way they saw possible. So culture, I've run through, culture is the hardest piece.
Oh, absolutely. And it's also not only is it the hardest piece to accomplish, it's the hardest thing to put your hands around. Right? A tool we can, as you said, a tool is a tool. Whether
Yes.
we're talking about a hammer or a software tool, we can grasp it, right? A the idea of culture. Was there any pushback about using new tools?
Yes.
There was.
Yes. It's still going on in a number of ways,
Hmm.
but there is a nice step for us at the moment. Originally, the tools were pushed from within the development arena.
Hmm.
We have a traditional change run split. More recently, the run team has started their ops automation initiative. They are looking to help drive and fill in the holes and take ownership of the things they want to automate and change. So it's almost like we've started that cyclic motion.
Yes.
So they may not want the same tools. There may still be challenges in the ones that we originally wanted for more of the devs and the CI chain. But the very fact that this kind of behavior can come through means that message is filtering to different layers of the organization.
Yes.
We started, if you drew your traditional triangle and started at the bottom with the tech guys and dev guys, that's where we went.
Hmm.
We got the money from the very top. We started at the very bottom. We acknowledge the fact that there's mistakes along the way. We probably didn't communicate enough with our ops guys.
Okay.
Big issue.
Right.
But now the fact that they're taking and driving that piece, that's going to make a significant difference because actually, guys, they get it as well. They always have. They just need to be included more. So that cycle and drive of behaviours should really lead us to that stronger growth. I mean, we haven't got that label of DevOps. I'm a great believer that DevOps is people.
Yeah.
Tools, technologies, pieces underpinning it.
So
They come and go.
yeah.
At the end of the day, people and that adaptability and that change,
Hmm.
not only at a personal level, but also at an organisational one, which means this style of culture can slowly grow. We are a highly regulated, ITIL-driven financial. That will stay the same.
Not good.
The FCA would not be happy with us if we made numerous mistakes along the way.
Excellent.
But it's coming. It's working.
I think so. And the fact is, there's obviously a tremendous amount of room for continued growth, continued improvement,
Yes.
continued journey and growth in this DevOps transformation. So that sounds exciting. We'd love to check in with you perhaps next year and see chapter 2 of this.
Love to.
Let me pivot a little bit and talk about the DevOps Enterprise Summit that you literally just came off stage. Uh, what compelled you to present here this year?
It was an interesting set of circumstances. My boss met Gene at a Delphix day, talking through DevOps and database provisioning. One of those key things that people don't touch a lot through the train. And he got an invite. He got the opportunity to come and present here. Sadly, he had to go in for surgery.
Oh, I'm sorry to
So
hear that.
a couple of weeks ago, he asked me to stand in.
Okay.
So
And now
I
you're
took
not
the
giving
leap.
it up.
No, not if I can help it. It's great fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's
You
a
know,
real
in
buzz.
the States, we have a saying, they call that the Wally Pipp story.
Yeah.
There was a first baseman on the Yankees back in the 20s who was a very good first baseman. And one day he wasn't feeling well, and they let this kid come in to take his place. The kid's name was Lou Gehrig.
Ah,
And Lou Gehrig then played for the next 2,300 and something games in a row, never took a day off. And no one ever heard of Wally Pipp again. And he's a footnote in baseball history.
yeah.
And who knows, maybe you're the next Lou Gehrig.
I'd say it's quite interesting because I'm the dev guy in a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Robin's the ops guy.
Got it.
It's a team game.
And well, DevOps is a team.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I couldn't do what I do. I couldn't get the time to play with the toys if it wasn't for him.
Exactly. Well, let's hope he recovers well from his surgery.
I hope so.
Were you here yesterday and all that?
Yes.
What did you think overall of what did you get out of DevOps Enterprise Summit?
I found some great pieces through the day. I was listening to the stories from, for example, Zurich yesterday morning, and feeling the resonation there between the stage we're trying to achieve. I mean, I'd seen the Barclays guys a couple of years ago talking about their automation journey. But it's really interesting to watch them talk about their DevOps journey now. without necessarily a reference to the underpinning automation piece that they'd started before, because it's something they've evolved that just happens.
Mm-hmm.
So their journey's changed, the stories have changed. We had guys talking about working in a highly regulated environments and the hurdles and problems they're overcoming there. So some of those just ring so true to see it going across the whole financial industry. And we know we're not alone. We know there's opportunities and ideas out there.
That's a common theme we hear from people here at the show is it's good to see we're not alone. We're not the only ones. It's good to see the things we're doing. We want to hear what other people similar to us are doing. And so you are not alone, and that's fantastic.
Cool.
Well, Andrew, thank you for appearing with us today for DevOps.com. Continued success along your journey.
Thank you.
And as I said earlier, we'd love to check back with you maybe in the future and see how things are going.
Hopefully I'll get a chance.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com.